Good evening, everybody. Thank all of you for coming. Before I call the meeting to order, is there anybody present that has not signed up that will want to speak at the public hearings? If you're so, we'll give you an opportunity to sign and speak. Because once we start the meeting, if you've not signed up, we will not allow you to speak. Is there anybody here that would like to speak that has not signed? Hearing none, I'd like to call our April meeting to order. Ms. Harris, would you please give the invocation?
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you again for life, health, and strength, Lord. We thank you for those that are gathered, they who may be listening. Lord, we ask you to continue to give us the honor and the privilege to serve our county, all residents, the same. Lord, we ask that you put it in our hearts and our minds that we may make this the best county there is to live in North Carolina. Amen.
Amen. At this time, safety instructions, Mr. Evans.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to invite up Ms. Natalie Best, our Deputy County Manager, to give us our safety instructions.
Good evening.
Good evening.
To provide for the safety of those attending this meeting, please listen to the following instructions in case of an emergency. First, please take a moment to note where your exits are. If an emergency arises that prompts us to evacuate, please exit this room in a quick and orderly manner through one of the two doors to your right, and then proceed to the nearest stairwell, directions to which are indicated by the exit signs. Once you exit the building, we ask that you safely cross Granville Street, which is the street that runs beside our building, to our parking lot to be safely away from the building. Our staff will provide additional directions and assistance as needed. In the case of a tornado warning, please exit this room into the hallway, where we will all remain until it is safe to exit. And in the event of an active shooter in the building, if there is an accessible escape path, please run and try to evacuate the premises. If you can't evacuate the premises, find a place to hide where you are less likely to be found and lock any doors that you can. And as a last resort, and only if your life is in imminent danger, please fight. Our staff will provide additional direction and assistance on what to do. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Bass. At this time, Mr. Evans, Commissioner, any additions or deletions for the agenda?
None from the staff, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioners? Hearing none. At this time, in your agenda package, you have the minutes of our previous meeting. No additions or corrections. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. At this time, we have a scheduled appointment. Mr. Evans, would you please introduce them?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, happy to. Tonight we have with us representatives from Invenergy. This is the company you may recall that had an approved project for a solar farm here in the county. This is one that was approved and permitted prior to the current moratorium that we are under. Just in relative location, this is one that is just north of our Kingsborough Business Park, across north of 64 Alternate. And so a lot of pre-development work has been done, and now the project is really moving forward in earnest. And I'd like to invite up Mr. Will Shoup with the company to provide for you all an update on the project.
So this is one, regardless how you feel about solar farms, they here.
This one was already approved. Yes.
They are already approved, all right? That's for everybody. So if you come up with your comments afterward, they make no difference. They are approved, all right? Come on, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Will Shoup. I'm with the community engagement team at Invenergy, and as Mr. Evans introduced, the Edgecombe Solar Energy Center originally came before the county in 2016. We received our special use permit in 2018, and we are anticipating full-scale construction taking place this summer. So we wanted to take this chance to reintroduce ourselves, provide a brief overview of the project, and give you a chance to ask us any questions you may have. As I said, I'm with the community engagement team. Our role is really to find ways to participate in the communities where we're developing our projects. That takes shape in a number of ways. We host community events. We reach out to local organizations, find ways that we can participate in their events, sponsor their events, volunteer our time. And we also serve as a conduit between the company and you folks and members of the public. So Any questions or concerns that you may have regarding the project, you can take to us. If I don't have an answer for it, someone from our wonderful project team will. With me tonight, I have Anna Kornreich, the project developer, and Ed Kostoniak, the project manager. Anna's team has really been responsible for getting us to where we are now. So that is siting, environmental screening, permitting, and a number of other things that she'll go over in her presentation. And Ed's team is really focused on construction, so overseeing our contractors, our subcontractors, enforcing safety requirements, and getting everything that we need done to get to that operations and maintenance phase. Invenergy is a Chicago-based company, and over the last 20 years or so, we've been finding ways to make power. That started out primarily with natural gas, and in the years since, we've been focused mainly on utility-scale solar and wind projects. We've developed close to 200 of those already across 10 countries. And as the need for energy continues to rise, we find ourselves looking into storage projects, transmission projects, and emerging technologies, things like thermal energy. But we're here to talk about solar. Invenergy has developed 63 solar projects, totaling over 9 gigawatts of energy created. That serves a broad range of customers, including utilities, public power entities, and corporate buyers. We've been able to reach that scale by really being at the leading edge of solar technology, creating and maintaining relationships with tier 1 suppliers, and really priding ourselves on our project execution and our safety. Those factors have led to us having more than 30,000 megawatts of solar power in our development pipeline, a piece of which is our Edgecombe project that Anna's going to run through in a little bit more detail. So thanks for your time.
Thank you, Will. As Will mentioned, my name is Anna Kornreich. I'm project developer here. Been on the Edgecombe solar project for a couple years now, and again, just want to give a high-level walkthrough aside from what Eric led into of our Edgecombe solar project. Largely the work that's been done to date. Oops, sorry. There we go. So I think you may all know this, but our Edgecombe solar project is a 75 megawatt project, as Eric described, is just north of the proposed Kingsborough development site, bordered to the south by US Alt Highway 64. It's about 600 acres total, or the total project components are estimated to take about 600 acres over about 4 parcels. And this is a quick site map. As you can see, the bulk of the project area is kind of what I just described, just north of that US Alt Highway 64. And then our project substation, we're connecting to a Dominion substation. I think it's formally called the Dominion Beach Branch substation, just off of Dunbar Road there. And our project substation will be just adjacent to that. So I just wanted to go through our project history a little bit. Again, acknowledge it's been a while since we obtained our SUP for this project. So as a brief history, we've been here in Edgecombe County since 2016. That's when we signed our first leases and obtained our SUP from y'all in 2018. We then, through 2019, 2021, 2023, 2025, we've done limited phases of construction work, which I'll get to on our next slide here, just as an overview. But we signed our interconnection agreement with Dominion and PJM in September of 2020. Got our CPCN from the North Carolina Utilities Commission not long after that. And most recently have signed an offtake agreement for the customer to purchase the power from our project. That was in mid-2025, which is why we're here kind of talking to you today about upcoming kind of larger scale construction. So just as a brief overview, and I know a lot of these photos are a little small here, so I apologize, but we've done some inverter pile installations, some grading for our project substation. We've done some pre-seeding prior to full-scale mobilization. And I think if you drive up Dunbar Road there, you'll see that the Dominion substation that's directly servicing our project is pretty much constructed. So like Will said, this is just a really high-level overview of our project timeline here. We've been here since 2016. We find ourselves in 2026, looking to start construction in summer of this year. We're expecting that the construction will take until mid or late 2027 and maybe in operations in late 2027. So with that being said, I just wanted to touch on a few key teams here. The first of which being us as Energy. We're not only the project developer, but also going to be the owner and operator of the facility. So we will be here basically from start to finish. And then I mentioned Dominion Energy. They're the transmission owner and operator, and they also own and built the point of interconnection that we will be using to connect to the grid. Two other parties I want to highlight here are Vanguard Energy Partners and Conductor Power. Vanguard Energy Partners is the main contractor that will be responsible for the construction of the solar array. And Conductor Power will be the contractor mainly responsible for the construction of the project substation. So just want to highlight those parties there. And with that, I think last thing I want to mention here is kind of our strategy for communication regarding the project. Again, Will is from our community engagement team. We have a specific community engagement team responsible for being a point of contact for not only the public, but also you all, in an effort to ensure transparency and make sure that anyone's questions or concerns are answered quickly. We do have a website. We also set up a hotline number and email. Those go directly to my and Will's inboxes, so we're able to establish quick communication, make sure that any questions or concerns get to the appropriate teams. With that being said, we'll also be reaching out to all our neighboring landowners, folks that will be directly impacted by the project, and making sure they're up to date and have more details as we get closer to our larger scale construction date. With that, I just have mine and Will's contact information here, but we're happy to take any questions.
Any questions?
Does it generally take this long for a project? 10 years?
So there have been a lot of headwinds in the industry, interconnection timelines, permitting timelines, land acquisition timelines. That being said, this project has faced unique challenges, in part due to interconnection timelines and largely in part due to the pandemic. There were some COVID era struggles largely associated with our offtake contracts. We had a couple shifting offtake contracts there, and that's kind of the impetus for us being back here now, and having the confidence to move forward with the larger scale construction is that we were able to confidently secure an offtake contract.
And what were the number of jobs that this project was gonna produce?
Yeah, so Ed, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we're looking at about 150 construction jobs.
With what length of time?
3 full-time jobs is what they put in their presentation.
Yeah, so we do have 3 to 4 full-time operation jobs, and we have about 150 construction jobs. Length of time, I think, and I may defer to you if you have that, but if not, that's fine.
Yeah, we would be starting mobilization in, say, June of this year, and construction jobs would ramp up to a peak of, like Anna said, 150 people for the solar array portion, and then it would start to ramp down, and we'd be mostly complete by September of 27, and then we'd be finishing out like commissioning and testing our systems called capacity tests, so that would take her down to less individuals at that time.
So where exactly is this located? I heard you mention Dunbar Road.
Yeah.
What end of it?
Yeah, so here, I can go back to our map. There we go. So most of the project actually isn't off of Dunbar Road. So it's just kind of at the intersection of Kingsborough there's Kingsborough, Canelo Vine Lane, and US Alt Highway 64.
Okay, it's on that end. I
Yes.
was trying to figure.
No, that's very fair. So what's off Dunbar Road is essentially just the substation, but the main portion of the project, the solar array, is just north of that Alt Highway 64.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Go ahead.
This is a question for the tax office. This was recorded in 2018 and it's still in present use value. what shouldn't that have changed when it recorded?
It changes at the time of the use. So just because they have a lease, set in place, if it's not currently being used at that purpose and is still being used as agriculture, it would still qualify.
So even though they've had a sup for 8 years, it doesn't matter?
That's right, it doesn't matter. It will fall out once the disqualifying event is the change in use. So once that change occurs, that's when the rollback trickles.
Is that after construction, or is that when permits are pulled?
That's after construction.
Any other questions from the board? Well, I just have a comment, and that comment is thank you. I think it's timely in terms of we bringing this information, and I think, Mr. Evans, we've set up a committee, and this is a community outreach engagement, and I think along with that committee, I think needs to be added to the conversation in terms of with the community engagement, some of the things that they would like to help us in this community. And it might be, while we've already approved this, there might be some type of agreement or other, some consent in terms of the things that the engagement team might be able to participate with. So I think add that conversation too, and reach out to Mr. Shoup if he would like to come and, have a conversation with us and with the committee in terms of things that they could bring to help us within the community, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And to that point, Mr. Chairman, the team at Invenergy, they are aware of the work that's been done with our stakeholders group.
Right.
They are aware of the draft changes that are on their way to the planning board and back around to you. And they've had a chance to see those and explore those. And I think they'd be interested in maybe implementing some of those.
And those things that, while those things that they can, we understand that they've been permitted, we would appreciate any kind of assistance that the engagement group would be willing to work with us on. It's very timely that you've come in terms of the kinds of conversation our community has been having, okay, in terms of data centers and solar systems, okay? Okay, so I think it's very timely, and so we can have that conversation. And if Mr. Evans would reach out to you, you can participate in those conversations, okay? Okay. And might be able to help us with some things, okay, in terms of some of the concerns that people might have, okay? So it's an opportunity for you, it's an opportunity for us. Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, thank you for your presentation, okay? Next on the agenda, there's a public hearing to consider related technical corrections to the county ordinance chapter 12, facilities section 12.5, approved building uses. This public hearing is called to order. Reading of the public notice, Mr. Peters.
Yes, sir. Public notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Edgecombe County Board of Commissioners on Monday, April 6, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Jonathan Felton Commissioners Room located on the second floor of the County Administration Building at 201 St. Andrew Street, Tarboro, North Carolina, 27886, to consider and act on proposed amendments in the following portion of Chapter 12, Facilities, Section 12-5, Approved Building Uses. Copies of the proposed amendments are on display on the county's website at www.edgecombecountync.gov and available for public review during business hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the County Manager's Office, Room 402. All interested residents/citizens are invited to attend and make their views known. Those who wish to speak during the public hearing must sign in before the public hearing is called to order. This meeting will also be live streamed on the county's YouTube channel at youtube.com/@edgecombecountync/streams.
Mr. Evans, comments?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. As you're aware, the amendment to our ordinance is needed to clarify our policy for the use of county facilities. It is our policy to only allow our facilities to be used to conduct county business and related activities. It has also been our longstanding practice to allow outside agencies that receive funding from the county to use our buildings when it does not interfere with county business. That practice needs to be clarified in our ordinance. You have in your agenda packet the proposed language change to our ordinance in Chapter 12, Facilities, Section 12.5. This has been published on the county's website as well as made available in in my office for public review. And you'll see primarily there are a couple of wording changes, but the primary change here would be number 4 under section 12.5 for approved building uses. We're adding the language, any meeting or function called by a nonprofit organization or outside agency that receives funding from the county or provides a service on behalf of the county. The meeting or function must be free to attendees. Pending public comment, I recommend that you approve the ordinance change as presented.
At this time, I call for public comment. Ms. Faison, is there anybody signed up for a couple of?
There are people signed up, but they didn't state whether they were, which public hearing they wanted to speak.
Is anybody here that's signed up? Please raise your hand and would like to speak at this public comment. Please come forward, sir. What is your name? What is the name? Call his name.
I don't know.
No,
It's the wrong.
it's not gonna be.
Right.
This is only for the use of buildings.
You're not use of buildings. Does anybody sign up? He would like to speak. Hearing none, I'd like to adjourn the public hearing, and Mr. Evans has recommended that we approve it. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, the amendment is approved. Public hearing number 2, to consider amendments to the CDBG NR program. NR is for what?
Neighborhood revitalization.
Neighborhood Revitalization Program. This public hearing is called to order. Mr. Peters, would you please read the public notice?
Yes, sir. Public notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Edgecombe County Board of Commissioners on Monday, April 6, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Jonathan Felton Commissioners Room located on the second floor of the County Administration Building at 201 St. Andrews Street, Tarboro, North Carolina 27886, to receive comments on a proposed program amendment for the 2023 CDBG NR program. The proposed amendment will remove properties 39 Green Acres Lane in Battleboro, 2869 NC 42 East in Macclesfield, and change 81 Pearly Lane, Rocky Mount from a rehabilitation project to a reconstruction project, and add 177 Ridgewood Road, Tarboro as a reconstruction project. The public is welcome to attend, and the county will respond to any written comments within 10 calendar days. This program is funded with $950,000 of CDBG funds, which represents 100% of the total program funding. The meeting will also be live streamed at the county's YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/@edgecombecounty.nc/streams.
Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This community development block grant program called the Neighborhood Revitalization Program is funded to the county in a total of $950,000. The program allows for us to do substantial rehabilitation or replacement. They call it reconstruction. If a home is too far to be renovated, we can replace the home. And so the original project, we had to identify the homes that were to be served, and that was all approved under a public hearing, and you all voted to approve the project. Lots of work has to be done. Assessments have to be done on the homes. Information has to be received, and lots of other things. So since then, we've had a few changes and therefore need this change to the program, this program amendment. The proposed change includes removing address 39 Green Acres in Battleboro. The applicant homeowner unfortunately has since deceased, and all the heirs are not willing to sign the loan documents to participate. We're also proposing to remove address 2869 NC 42 East, Macclesfield. Again, unfortunately, the homeowner is deceased and the property is now vacant. We propose to add address 177 Ridgewood Road, Tarboro. This was listed as an alternate in the original funding application as a reconstruction. Also, 81 Pearly Lane, Rocky Mount, proposing to change the treatment from rehabilitation to reconstruction. Once the home was inspected, it was determined it could not be renovated. These changes will stabilize the beneficiary list so titles can be completed and will be requested in this coming week. And so recommend, pending any public comments, recommend this program change as presented.
At this time, we'll call for public comments during this public hearing. Was anybody scheduled to speak? Have none? Hearing none, we'd like to join the public hearing. And Mr. Evans recommend that we approve. Is there a motion to approve?
So
No questions? I'm gonna get questions before we get. Any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion? Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions, any other questions? All in favor, let it be known by saying yea. All opposed? There is no opposition, motion passes. Mr. Shoup, if you all would like to, if y'all just want to stay in here, you can, but you can leave if you like, okay? Okay. Okay. See how we work. Okay. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, for the petitions, when you come forward, please state your name and address when you call. You have 3 minutes, and if you sign in, Madam Clerk, would you please call the first person?
Mr. Cumulus Dancy.
Don't get scared, ain't nothing.
3 minutes.
Cumulus Dancy, P.O. Box 1391, Pine Tops, North Carolina, 27864. Physical address 127 Midway Lane, Tarboro, North Carolina, 27886. 3 miles out of Pine Top, 7 miles out of Tarboro. I like to say that. I'm just here today to let you know, thank you for allowing me to sit on the board for the animal shelter. Continue to serve. Nice facility. I don't think I've been to. Thank you for the nice shelter since we moved in. Beautiful building. I do want to see the sheriff office name on the building, since it's up under the sheriff office. I know it's a little room on top there, but the little sign outside the road to me is not enough. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to make suggestions.
You
And
recommend
y'all know
it?
that. Right.
Did you bring any money with you?
No, I ain't bringing no money now. I pay enough taxes.
You pay enough for that? We'll tell you how much that costs, okay?
All right.
Go ahead.
But I might be able to work out something.
Okay, well, we'll work with you on that one.
Like put my
Okay.
mouth, I'm winning with my mouth.
Anything you want, you pay for. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Also, I come to serve in another capacity. As of March the 1st, I am the Edgecombe County community organizer for the North Carolina Black Alliance, covering Edgecombe and Nash County. They're gonna provide me with an office. I'm hoping to move in by the end of April, 1st of May. It's gonna be in Rocky Mount on the Edgecombe side. So I'm looking forward to that. So you'll be hearing from me in another capacity. The board member, I think you still serve on the board.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, so she know what it's all about. So I just want to thank y'all for what you're doing, and like I said, I'm here in another capacity again. So I will be monitoring board. And then one last thing, if I could get a list of all the meetings that fall up under the county, such as the planning board, all meetings.
Please check with our clerk.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
She'll give you the information you need. Okay. Next.
Shayna Brown.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Chairman Wiggins, other commissioners, and residents of Edgecombe County. My name is Shauna Brown. My address is 460 Airport Road, Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. So I'm with the Center for Energy Education, and we want to help residents in Edgecombe County take advantage of 2 rebate programs which provide financial assistance for energy efficiency and electrification upgrades to eligible homeowners and renters. It's called the Energy Saver NC program. It's a program that continues to make a real difference in the lives of some of our local residents. We, the Center for Energy Education, is in partnership with the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, known as DEQ. Through this initiative, several families have already received new HVAC systems, ranges, refrigerators, washers and dryers, duct work, water heater replacement, sealed air leaks, insulation under the homes and in the attics, which improves comfort, safety, and energy efficiency in their homes. We are actively helping residents apply for assistance through these income-based residents. We, the Center of Energy Education, have helped over 800 residents in Halifax County apply for assistance, and our goal is to help just as many in Edgecombe County if you will allow us. We are asking for some assistance from someone in Edgecombe to help us by providing a location that we can meet with residents to discuss the program and to help them apply on the spot. Our residents, your residents, need help to make their homes more energy efficient. Qualified residents can receive up to $16,000 through the HOMES, which is the Homeowner Managing Efficiency Savings Program, and up to $14,000 through the HERE, Home Electrification and Appliance Rebates Program, depending on their needs and their eligibility. The average medium income for Edgecombe through DEQ is like $41,000 a year. So with the application, residents are required to submit at least the last 12 months of their electric bill, the last 12 months of their gas bill, if they use gas to heat or cook in their home, have a valid email address, and proof of income, which includes everyone that lives in the home and receives a check. We are also looking for contractors who are interested in becoming certified through NCDEQ to help complete this important work in our community. They can go to the website, sign up, and become a registered contractor through DEQ. And what our goal is to keep the money here in Edgecombe County, Eastern North Carolina. So together, we can ensure that many families in our region have access to safe, energy efficiency, and comfortable homes. So thank you for your support and for helping us to make a lasting impact in your community through the Energy Saver NC program.
Hold it, stay right there. Okay, don't leave. We're going to make sure that happens, okay?
Exactly.
Okay. We're going to tell them to do that, okay? Okay. Any comments from the board? Well,
I'm excited
Yeah.
because, I mean, we have residents all the time calling me, asking me, where can they get their assistance? And this would be a definite plus for several senior citizens that I know in my district.
It seems like there's money's already appropriated somewhere for this.
It has been approved.
So, Mr. Evans, I'm going to say to you, make sure that Ms. Brown, make sure that we have a staff contact person.
Yes.
Make sure that we provide her with space
Good
and
internet access as well.
to whatever she needs
Soon and very soon.
to make sure that this information gets to our public. That would be in this area of the county and in the Rocky Mount area or wherever we need it. Ms. Brown, with the support of this board, if he does not make that happen, you let me know. Okay.
And could you leave us a card, please?
Oh, I forgot.
Okay.
Okay, make sure
Get her
that,
contact
Madam,
information.
give that to the clerk, give your contact information to the clerk, please.
Okay.
And reach out, and she'll give you Mr. Evans' contact. We will make sure that program happens.
So can I kind of sort of just explain the process of how we would like to do it? We would, after coming here and letting you all know, we would like to schedule like maybe 2 to 3 weeks out because it takes about that long sometime for the electric companies to get the residents their electric bills because most people don't keep them. I know that with Dominion or Duke Energy, we have access to them. But if it's something else, then their residents will have to get that information. Also, we work with a lot of older citizens, and they have that reward letter that they get with SSI. So that's the kind of information that we need. Some people can find it, some cannot. So it gives them time to find what they need. And once I get the information about where we're going to be, I will complete a flyer and get it out to, I guess, Mr. Evans, and let him know so he can make sure that, or everybody can make sure that they're out and about. So we ask that you also announce it when we're coming back to your home churches, in the community, in restaurants, wherever you go, just so the residents will have an opportunity to get what they need, and we can help them on the spot apply.
Have you been to Rocky Mount? This does not make a difference. If you live anywhere in the county, you're eligible.
It doesn't matter. It's for the whole state of North Carolina.
I would suggest that you also go to Rocky Mount.
Okay.
In terms of, they do have this, the TV, they do have a what we call it, a government,
Yes, sir. Local access.
local access channel that they could get this program on also, because I think this is an important program, and I think people will use it once they know it's out there.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, is there anybody else? Go ahead, please, Mr.
Let's
Thorne.
reach out to the town too, let them include that in the utility bill when they get that schedule.
Right.
Absolutely. Great idea, and we can include it in our utility bill.
And,
Not water utility bill, but also the town's electric utility.
we're into the towns, right, into the,
Yeah.
like,
Well, I think
this,
Tara is the only one that provides her own electric.
okay, right.
But EMC, we can reach
And see if
out to
EMC will,
EMC.
see if EMC will do it.
Sure.
Edgecombe Martin will do it also.
Great.
Madam Clerk, is anybody?
Stephen Brittain.
Mhm.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Steve Britton. I live at 700 Williamsburg Drive in Tarboro, North Carolina, 27886. I'm here tonight to address the data center and crypto mining facility that is being proposed for Edgecombe County. And just have a few words, and I'll keep it brief for you because I know your time is valuable. But I understand the need for our tax base in Edgecombe County. I know that we're struggling with it and we do need to increase our revenues. But is it worth prostituting our land for a quick fix? A data center will bring very few full-time on-site permanent jobs. Of those few, how many will reside in Edgecombe County, especially when they know that living downwind and downstream of a data center is hazardous to your health? There has been an increased incidence of rare cancers and breathing disorders reported in communities near data centers. They pollute the air and the water. There is also noise and light pollution associated with the data centers. They can have detrimental effects on wildlife and the local climate, actually increasing temperatures up by almost 10 degrees. These are facts. How will they affect other new industries that may be interested in coming into Edgecombe County? What if the overwhelming need for water and electricity and gas by the data center deters other, more environmentally friendly industries from locating here? What about the businesses in town that are already here? What about, for instance, Tarboro Brewing Company? They rely on clean water for their business. And then there are also many other businesses that rely on that same natural resource. What about the citizens that you swore an oath to represent? This past winter, the town of Tarboro put out a request to limit our electricity usage due to a cold snap. This summer, we're expecting to experience a super El Nino, the strongest in over 140 years. This means hotter, drier weather, again, straining our electrical grid and already straining the water usage due to the ongoing drought. The data center will depend on Rocky Mount for the water. After our experience with flooding from Hurricane Floyd and their current ongoing financial problems, can we count on them to manage it fairly? Once this technology has been left behind and the newer technology has taken its place, the data centers will be abandoned. We've seen that with so many other things before. Who will be stuck with the toxic cleanup? We've seen Love Canal. We've seen things all over the globe on this way, being abandoned by corporations. We will have other opportunities. In the meantime, we can develop our ecotourism, promoting our rivers for kayaking, canoeing, fishing, etc. We can promote our rural roads for cycling and hiking and other outdoor activities. Why are other states, particularly Maine today, and other governments banning data centers? What do they know that we don't know? Until our questions are answered, the clean technology is in place and proven, I suggest we ban the data centers or at least put a 2-year moratorium on them.
Your 3 minutes.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Any questions for me?
Any questions?
I've lived here for over 40 years, so I feel like I have some say again.
Thank you, thank you. Any others?
No, sir.
Hearing none at this time, we move on the agenda. Next on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, we're scheduled to, is there a motion to recess our regular Board of Commissioners meeting and convene as Board of Equalization and Review?
Motion.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the vote sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, once the clerk gives us the oath, we are now the Board of Equalization and Review. Madam Clerk.
Your Bible at your desk.
Okay.
Good evening,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Chair,
Yeah,
Board of Commissioners. Good evening.
good evening.
everyone. At this time, I'm here to swear in the Edgecombe County Board of Equalization and Review. If you all agree, and if you are staying, I will go ahead and swear you in this evening. if you're going to swear on the Bible, if you place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. If you're just going to swear, just raise your right hand. If you would just repeat after me, and when I say I, just give me your name. I do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as a member the Board of Equalization and Review of Edgecombe County, North Carolina, and that I will not allow my actions as a member of the Board of Equalization and Review to be influenced by personal or political friendship or obligation. So help me God. Thank you all so very much. And if you would sign the oath of office, and once it's signed, if you'll pass it to me, I will make sure that I'll take it back to the Clerk of Superior Court's office, get it on file, and get a copy back to Madam Clerk. Thank you all so very much for all that you do for our community.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're very welcome.
Everybody got, want to pass them down? You got them, give them Miss Evans.
Here, just that paper.
Just the page that you signed. No, sir, you can just sign it. Yes, sir.
Just sign a loan on your house. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And what's on the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to invite Ms. Teresa Lewis, our tax administrator,
Go
to
right
come
ahead.
forward, and she'll walk us through the process now.
That sounds better, okay? Rather than me trying to go through it, okay?
So in your packet, you will have a letter from the North Carolina Department of Revenue advising what letters that we should use through the appeal process this year. They've made their updates and they're making their recommendations, and we're need to take action on each letter individually. And so the first one we refer to as the regular discovery or regular appeal letter. And that should be the first one that says notice of decision regarding discovery and compromise. Wait a minute, excuse me, that's discovery. It's gonna be the second one, notice of decision. That's the letter I'm to use to, anyone that you hear an appeal for in that format, and specifically has the wordage that DOR recommends using. So we can vote on that.
So the first motion is to approve.
Approve the letter that we refer to as regular notice of decision.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve letter of regular notice of decision.
That's it.
Second. Any other questions or explanations? Hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Next.
Okay, so the next one's gonna be to approve using the notice of decision letter regarding discovery and compromise. And what that is if our office makes a discovery, which is current year plus 5 years of back taxes, For any reason, if that comes before the Board of Equalization and Review, we are to use that notice specifically because the laws are a little bit different regarding an appeal process and that, okay?
Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Any additional explanation or question? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing
And then
none,
the
it
last notice
is approved.
is gonna be a notice of decision regarding an untimely real property appeal. And in that is, there again, another process that does require a little bit different verbiage, and they recommend using this notice because if they are untimely, there is no appeal process past the Board of Equalization and Review. So it cannot go to the Property Tax Commission and therefore any further past the state if it's deemed untimely.
But if it is deemed untimely, is there a decision for us to make other than untimely?
No, sir. Only whether or not you receive the notice timely or not.
Okay.
So therefore, that's why that's a little bit more specific and a little bit longer letter. So.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any further explanation? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, that letter is approved.
And just a little update, the next process, of course, we currently do not have anything scheduled for tonight's hearing. But we did send out over 700 value adjustment letters in February to the taxpayers this year, and they have had a little more than 30 days to appeal that notice. And we've received about 35 informally, either from that notice specifically or from them just not liking how high their bill was previously. And so we have processed that, and at this moment, we have not had any Board of Equalization or Review appeals received. Of course, after 5 o'clock today, any notice of appeal that is received is automatically sent to Board of ENR and is not informal any longer because of the timing of the receiving it. So we did today get 30 appeals from a specific property owner.
From one property owner?
One property owner, and that is mostly rental property, and it was submitted by a tax rep for them. I believe, if you remember last year's meeting, we had about 17 of them by that. It's the same property owner, and it's in a different location. So we'll be working those individually because it was received before the adjournment of you guys. So if they do not agree with our value, then it would be able to come to you. So at this time, I don't recommend a additional date to be hearing any appeals, but that could change within a few hours. Like today, I just said I got 30 in one stack. So that just depends on what we receive between now and May, excuse me. So, any questions?
Any questions? Hearing none, is anything else to come before this board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll just note for the public, if they're not familiar what this is all about, and so in the state of North Carolina, when every year a value is assigned to every property, that notice of value goes out to property owners. Property owners can have the opportunity to appeal that value if they don't agree with it. In North Carolina, that appeal has to first go through our tax administrator's office. They can make adjustments. She can make adjustments in the office. She's authorized by you to do that. If they cannot agree with what she adjusts or does or doesn't do, comes before a board that has to hear those appeals. In North Carolina, that's the Board of Equalization and Review. It can either be a separate board from
Which we could do if we wanted to.
You could establish a separate
But
board.
we become that board.
That's correct. You are that board. Many counties do as you do. They sit also. That's why all of the recess as the board, convene as the Board of Equalization and Review, all of that, because you're technically sitting as a separate board now. So it can be a little confusing, but it's important for our citizens to understand what's going on.
And this is the last day. So after this day, there's no need to send in nothing. Is that correct?
Well, they can send it in, but you guys will have to make that decision, not me.
Well, you saying there's nothing we can do?
We use that letter.
Yeah, you
okay.
can.
So,
But,
is there anything else that comes to this board?
no, sir.
Hearing none, is there a motion to recess as Board of Equalization Review until May 4th? Well, go ahead, Mr. Willie, before we do that.
So moved.
Okay, and reconvene as regular Board of Commissioners. And we got a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by the vote sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we are now again the Board of County Commissioners. We stand now as the Board of County Commissioners, okay? And we will continue on the agenda as we had it. On that next, budget amendments, Mr. Evans.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. You have 10 budget amendments that require your approval. Budget amendment number 1 is to appropriate additional funds in the Health Department received in Family Planning Grant. Number 2 is additional funds received in the Health Department for the Food and Lodging State Funds Program. Budget amendment number 3 is additional funds in the Health Department for maternal funding. Number 4 is transfer to the School Capital Reserve Fund based on the updated projections of our sales tax revenue for Article 40. As you'll recall, a certain percentage of sales tax that's received in that particular sales tax article must go towards school capital. And so based on the increase in revenues being received now, that budget is proposed to be adjusted. Budget amendment number 5 is for the Sheriff's Office, and this is to appropriate donations received for in animal services. Number 6 in Veterans Office, this is to appropriate a $12,000 grant received from the state for some training and lunch and learns and some community outreach that will be done with that grant. Budget amendment number 7 is to appropriate additional home and community care block grant funds received from the NC Division of Aging, additional $15,000. Number 8, again for the Sheriff's Office, this is to appropriate an insurance claim received for vehicle damage, to appropriate it to vehicle supply and materials. Number 9, again, is the Health Department, additional state funding in the what's called the AA 117 program. This is to what's called Public Health Infrastructure Local Workforce Fund. And finally, budget amendment number 10. This is to move additional funding under the industrial incentive line. This is where we pay our tax incentives for previous projects. Currently on the books for this year is the incentive program for LS Cable, Corning, and Sara Lee. And so we needed to move some additional funds in that, and you'll see the lines where we're moving those. The other budget amendments are for your information, but happy to answer any questions that you might have. Recommend you approve budget amendments 1 through 10.
Motion.
Question.
Go ahead, questions. Go ahead, Ms. Harris.
Mine is about why we're doing anything with Corning if they're not gonna be there.
They met the requirement for the incentive this year, so
Oh,
they paid the taxes they've requested, so they met the eligibility for it.
All right.
Good question, though. Real good question.
On number 8, the insurance claims, my question is really more related to when they total a car. Where does that money go? Back into this same category?
Yeah, generally, yes, sir. Usually it goes back towards the purchase of a new one
Okay.
or in a repair line for vehicles. Yes, sir. Good question.
Any other questions?
On number 10, how does that budget balance if we're balancing expenditures and revenues at the same time?
I'm sorry, your question.
So wouldn't the industrial incentive go up to the revenue side?
No, we're moving, these are all expenditure lines. We are moving them from 3 expenditure lines to the industrial incentive expenditure line.
Okay, I
Yes,
see what
sir.
you're doing.
So we're not receiving any additional revenue.
But EMC is receiving a grant in that. Is that separate of this?
That's separate, yes. EMC, that grant is not coming through us.
Okay, that's going directly to.
Yes.
These are rebates based on their pay.
Yeah,
They fulfilled the obligations on an agreement.
That's where I was confused, because EMC is receiving a large grant out there, so that's where I was
Yeah,
confused.
that's not passing through the county.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, it is approved. Next. Next, Mr. Evans.
Mr. Chairman, you have a recommended resolution to recognize April as National County Government Month. I'd like to call for Ms. Natalie Best, our Deputy County Manager, to present this resolution.
Go right ahead.
Resolution to honor National County Government Month. Whereas the nation's 3,069 counties, serving more than 330 million Americans, provide essential services to create healthy, safe, and vibrant communities. And whereas counties fulfill a vast range of responsibilities and deliver services that touch nearly every aspect of our residents' lives. And whereas counties as intergovernmental partners enact local, state, and federal programs to address the needs of all residents. And whereas Edgecombe County and all counties take pride in our responsibility to protect and enhance the health, well-being, and safety of our residents in efficient and cost-effective ways. And whereas this year the nation is celebrating 250 years of independence and counties have a long and rich history of serving residents. And whereas since 1991, the National Association of Counties has encouraged counties across the country to elevate awareness of county responsibilities, programs, and services. And whereas Edgecombe County was formed in 1741 and has a rich historical legacy in eastern North Carolina. And whereas county government provides essential services that support public health, safety, infrastructure, and economic development for all residents. And whereas Edgecombe County continues to focus on strengthening its workforce, supporting economic growth, and improving quality of life for its residents. And whereas during National County Government Month, we recognize the dedication of county officials, employees, and community partners who work daily to serve the people of Edgecombe County. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Leonard Wiggins, Chairman, Edgecombe County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April as National County Government Month and encourage all county officials, employees, schools, and residents to participate in county government celebration activities. And that would be adopted the 6th day of April, 2026. And just to give you all a little brief forecast, we have already today, we did our first activity for County Government Month. We interviewed the county manager, and we are going to get that posted. We are going to have some facts about the county posted this week. I've reached out to you all. You all have gotten emails about talking to me as well. And we also have reached out to the schools so they know about our Charters of Freedom and also some of the things that the county government does as well. So we'll be celebrating the entire month.
Did we get that Charter of Freedom glass or whatever? One of them looked like it needed some work on it a while back.
That's a good question. None of them have the glass. We thought they were, but they said they stopped doing that because what they found is that over time it can get moisture behind it and cause condensation and cause issues. It would have been nice and shiny if they had, but I understand.
So they didn't do that anyway?
No.
Okay.
No. So they are as they are. They still do plan to come back. You may remember they're going to do a time capsule.
Oh, yeah.
There's room behind one of those pedestals, and they're going to come back, and that will be a second follow-up ceremony. They put some items, put pictures of the county commissioners.
Any questions or comments?
Somebody throw something in.
Well, let it be resolved that Leonard Wiggins cannot call this and that he gets a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All questions? All in favor, let it be known by the vote sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now I can call it county government month, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, Ms. Evans.
Next, we have consideration of conveying interest 507 Albemarle Drive. The county and the town of Tarboro jointly own the Farmers Market building located at 507 Albemarle Avenue here in Tarboro. By letter dated March 10th, 26, Town Manager Troy Lewis formally requested that the county considers conveying its ownership interest in the property to the town. The town has utilized this facility for several decades and anticipates continuing to use it in support of its municipal operations. The county currently has no operational need for this facility. The town of Tarboro has been the primary user of the property and is best positioned to continue its use, maintenance, and long-term stewardship. Therefore, I recommend that the board approves the conveyance of the county's ownership interest in the Farmers Market building located at 507 Albemarle Avenue to the town of Tarboro, authorize Mr. Attorney to prepare the necessary deed and any legal documents, and authorize me to execute all documents on behalf of the county necessary to complete the conveyance.
I'll ask for any questions or comments before I get a motion.
All I've seen is stuff look like it's stored in there. I want to know, is there really a use for it? I mean, a lot of people in town have said different things we ought to be able to use that building for. Some kind of recreation for the youth, that kind of thing. So I was just wondering, did they have a specific something else they were gonna use it for?
I think they're still exploring those options, but that's a great question. I think it's a good building. I've not been in it in a very long time, but it looks to be in fairly decent shape, so I think there's some good opportunities there.
Any other comments or questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Question? All in favor, let it be known by a voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it is approved. Next.
Next is regarding a grant, infrastructure grant at Kingsborough, an amendment. As you'll recall, Edgecombe, the county is awarded grant funds in the amount of $2,482,800 through the NC Division of Environmental Quality Viable Utility Fund to replace the Kingsborough Booster Station. A bid opening was held on December 16th, and the low bid for this project was $4,493,000, leaving the project short $2,637,850. The county reached out to the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina, or EDPNC, to inquire about the Mega Site Readiness Program. After submitting an application, EDPNC has awarded the county the remaining $2,637,850 needed to complete the project. Attached, you will find the Mega Site Readiness Program Site Development Grant Agreement along with the Grant Project Ordinance Amendment Number 1. It's recommended you approve the enclosed agreement and grant project ordinance amendment as presented.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it is approved.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I'd like to recognize Mr. Mike Matthews on this project. He's been leading this effort. He's the one who actually made the contact with EDPNC for us to get these grant funds, so it's great.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you.
Keep doing your job.
I thought we overpaid you for something.
He's earning it now, right?
It's commission-based.
Moving on, next. Got to put some humor in it, man. Got to put it somewhere, huh? Go
There
ahead.
you go. Next is regarding JCPC funding. North Carolina Department of Public Safety is again making available funds for the juvenile crime prevention programs for FY27 in the amount of $255,122 to provide services to court-involved and at-risk youth. The JCPC Council at their last meeting voted to recommend funding per the attached spreadsheet. You'll see on the spreadsheet that there are mostly returning organizations. We do have one new program is recommended for funding. I recommend that you approve the allocation of these funds as presented, and this includes a $25,512 in local match to be included in the FY27 budget, and also to authorize me to execute the agreements with each program.
Motion?
So moved.
Second? Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it is approved.
I'd like to say, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank Vice Chairwoman Harris for serving on that committee.
Well, you know, she knows it. She want to know who's going to get it.
I want to make sure it's fair.
It is. It's fair.
North and
Oh, yeah.
We do meet jointly with the Nash County JCPC. We've been doing that for a long, long time. It works very well because many of the programs provide services in both counties, so it's very helpful.
So when you adopt this, you're meeting? Or
So
you
we
just-
are only voting on the Edgecombe funds.
Okay,
They'll be doing the same for Nash County.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Moving on.
Next is regarding conveying some more property, and this is to Edgecombe Martin Electric Membership Corporation. So Edgecombe Martin, or EMC is known, has received grant funding through the Mega Site Initiative and is moving forward with plans to upgrade and expand the Kingsborough Station to support future economic development in the area. As part of the project, EMC has identified the need for additional land to accommodate the planned improvements. Specifically, they've requested the conveyance of approximately 3.12 acres of adjoining access property owned by the county. EMC is not only the electric utility provider for the area, but also a critical partner in the success and marketability of the Kingsborough Business Park. Reliable and expandable electric infrastructure is essential for recruiting and supporting industrial and economic development projects. Therefore, I recommend that the board approves the conveyance of approximately 3.12 acres of county-owned property adjacent to the Kingsborough substation to Edgecombe Martin County EMC. Authorize our attorney to prepare the necessary deed and any related legal documents for the transfer, and authorize me to execute the same.
Motion?
Motion.
Questions?
Just one question. And I'm for this motion. It's just, we have a large water tower right there surrounding that station. Are we, everyone's okay with that being right there?
Yeah, so we had that tank repainted several years ago, and it caused no issue. Everything was in-house inside the fence line, so outside of that, I didn't see any issue.
Well, what issue could it be?
I just didn't know if a water tower falls on a substation, that's probably not a great thing.
Well, that's our land. They
We'll be theirs.
Well, it's good.
No. We will continue to own the land, the parcel where our water tank is on.
No, I meant the rest of the land.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be surrounded by,
Right.
it was just a logistics
Sure.
question. I'm sure
Well,
they engineer that, but I just.
I guess
I think
it's
that
a
water
good
tank
question
may
too.
have been there before the dam.
As relate, could that create a liability for us? Could that create a
Make sure
li-
something in there. So
Could that create
so
a
the county
liability
that we're
if it
not liable.
happens? Could that create a liability for it if it happens?
Yeah, it could now or it could then, sure. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, and
Better write something in
Will
there.
create a liability to us either way. More
Just-
than likely.
Just something, probably
Well-
knowledge and maybe have some kind of conversation around, I don't know. I mean, they need that land, they're landlocked where they can.
well,
where they
and
can
I'm
expand.
in support of too. Now, I guess the only comment that I'll make is that just make sure they give us consideration when the partnership is negotiating electric rates.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that how much the value of this land is valuable land out there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, when we talking about buying and now we're talking about giving it away. Okay, so let's make sure that there's some understanding in the future that we are partners
Yes.
in the development of this county. Okay, and it's a give and take on both ends.
Yes, sir.
And we did have a motion, okay?
We're
And-
already there.
Yeah.
Motion second.
It's just a vote.
All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none. Also let that be in the record so they'll know that these comments that we made, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Next is regarding memorandum of agreement with Edgecombe Community College. This is for our Edgecombe Works programs. This is our third year funding for the Edgecombe Works program offered in partnership with Edgecombe Community College. These programs are aimed at providing resources that will increase the employability skills of our citizens as well as provide training opportunities for our staff. These programs were a success the last 2 years, and with what we learned together with the community college, we can adjust for even greater success this year. To formalize our partnership with Edgecombe Community College for Edgecombe Works, we need your approval of the attached memorandum of agreement. I will note 2 important changes made in this updated agreement. First, as you will remember, Edgecombe Community College created the Edgecombe Works Academy programs to provide training opportunities for county staff. You previously approved an amendment that gives secondary priority to staff at Edgecombe Community College and Edgecombe County Schools. Now, we have also added that if any seats remain available, that we will they will be open to Edgecombe County residents who are referred by or willing to work with our career navigator. The second change adds a provision for you to authorize me to move funds as needed between the Edgecombe Works programs described in the agreement. This will allow us to make the optimal use of the funds. I recommend that you approve the agreement as presented. Happy to answer any questions if you have.
Motion.
Did I need to recuse myself?
Yes, I think that's.
Motion, that is to recuse, that motion is to recuse Ms. Harris.
Okay.
All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. Aye. You are recused now. Is there a motion to
For
approve?
clarity for the public, just because Commissioner Harris is an employee of the community college.
Yeah, and
just wanted to know that.
that's to keep it clean.
Yes, sir.
If she receives a benefit, I guess salary would be that. So she is excused for that purpose. Now, we've got a motion and a second.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. Aye. All opposed, hearing none. That is approved. Next.
Next is approval of a new job description in our IT department. Our new compensation plan includes a position titled Network Systems Administrator at grade 9. The duties of the position have evolved, and therefore the revised job description needs your approval. I recommend that you approve the job description for the Network Systems Administrator as presented.
There you go. Just go ahead and answer. That job is already filled.
It's a
We're
currently
just-
filled
We are
position.
changing the job. We are changing the job description
Yes,
and the
so
title.
really what we're doing, we're changing the description to match what the person is doing. The position has evolved. He's doing more.
Is there a motion? Is there a motion? Questions?
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. All opposed, hearing none, it is approved. Appointments and reappointments, you've got a list here of the people that are being health equity, advisory boards, affordable and safe housing, youth and families, education and workforce. Based on your review of the list, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. All opposed, hearing none, the appointments and reappointments are approved. Out the list and releases for review and approval. Mr. Evans, anything to be brought to the board's attention?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may
Any
have.
questions of the board? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? The questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. All opposed, hearing none, it is approved. Contractual review, anything to be brought to the board's attention, Mr. Evans?
I will just note that the first one, state utilities contract, is related to the booster pump station that was mentioned just a moment ago. A new contract on that. The second one is below the contract limit for your approval. However, this is a sole source contract. You'll see justification in the agenda packet. And third is a contract for IT network backup system. This is a 5-year agreement.
On the sole source agreement, you did give us some additional information. Was that correct, Madam Clerk? In terms of the quote is there, and you have it before you in terms of what the sole source agreement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, you have that information at your desk also. Is there a motion for approval? Did I get a motion? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye. All opposed, hearing none, it is approved. Departmental reports, you have water. We usually hear from our finance officer. Go ahead, Ms. Evans.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to call up Ms. Linda Barfield, our CFO, who will give you your monthly financial summary.
Good evening. In the reports in your packet, I'll just hit some of the highlights. In terms of our ad valorem revenue, what you're looking at in this report is through February. Because of the two different systems I've talked about in the past, we'll be reporting March. We probably are doing it anytime this week. So the collections that you see again is through February. In terms of sales tax, you're looking at collections for about 6 months in the year. So this should represent through December sales. So we've got about 6 more months to collect. So 54% is coming in pretty strong. Normally, we would expect 6 months in to be about 50%. So really excited to see the 54% and hope to see it continue to perform well. Overall, with our revenues, we're in a decent position, about 69% coming into the last quarter of the year. However, we do have some of our other larger revenues like health and DSS that seem to be lagging behind some. Some of that can be attributed to the timing of when we get those reimbursements. They're usually about 2 months behind. But overall, I think we're doing pretty well with our revenues. In terms of expenses, they are definitely tracking in line between what we've spent and our encumbrances. We're about 68.5% committed. So expenditures are tracking fine. Just keep in mind that some of the larger expenses like our transfers to health, PSS, and solid waste, they don't post until the end of the year. In terms of our proprietary funds, For solid waste seems to be performing well. However, I would caution that we do have a few capital outlay items that have not yet posted that will change this somewhat. We also don't have the closure cost in, so that will also change the trajectory of how solid waste will end, because we've got some larger expenses that don't usually post to the end of the fiscal year. But overall, through March 31st, solid waste looks pretty stable. And then, of course, water and sewer is performing well. And that's pretty much all I have, unless you have a specific question you'd like me to address.
Any questions? If not, thank you for your report. Thank you. Mr. Evans, manager's report, anything on this? Go ahead with your report.
Yes, sir. I do want to point out and recognize two recent retirees. We have Miss Patricia Woodard, who retired from our Department of Social Services with 35 years of service, and Lois McLean, who retired from Social Services as well with 12 years of service. So we want to publicly recognize them here in this meeting for their service. Also, as you know,
Like, on behalf of the board, we want to thank them for their service. Anybody stay here 35 years, put up with these managers, okay?
Absolutely.
They doing real well, okay? Okay. Go right ahead, Ms. Evans.
Yes, sir. And also, we want to continue to give condolences to the Hudson and Powell family. As you all know, we recently lost one of our team members, Mr. Travis Hudson, who served the county very well in our solid waste department for 24 years. And we certainly will keep his wife, Miss Melanie Hudson, who is our environmental health supervisor, and Commissioner Powell. We certainly keep all of you in our prayers and want to recognize
The whole family
the whole
has
family, yes,
provided
sir.
public service to the county.
Yeah.
And on behalf of the board, we give our condolences and thank you
Thank you all for the love.
And thank you and the family for the support that you've given this county. Go ahead, Ms. Evans.
You have in here, as well as my monthly major events and updates, workforce development indicators, TDA financial report, share with you. Just a reminder, we are required by state statute to provide that financial update from the TDA to you monthly. I do want to draw your attention. You'll see we received a letter dated March 27 from North Carolina Department of Public Safety. We share in the cost of housing juveniles in the Juvenile Detention Center from Edgecombe County. They've given us notice that per day cost is increasing from $150 to $165. We certainly will take that in consideration when we are doing the budget for next fiscal year. You have a copy of the most recent newsletter from one of our advisory boards, the Getting Off the List advisory boards, the Health Equity Advisory Board. They do a really good job of pulling together resources and sharing that in their monthly newsletter. You have a county profile from the organization called My Future NC. That's the one that was commissioned by former governor to look at trying to press for the increase of work-related credentials across the state. And so they do a profile by county, and this is the most recent one I thought you'd be interested to see. 12.8 is we get a copy of the letter from the Edgecombe school system regarding retirement spiking notice. You've seen these before. We get them for our staff as well, but for the public's benefit, the state of North Carolina, they've done something what they call a retirement spiking law. They have a contribution-based benefit cap. It is designed to prevent unusually large late career salary increases from creating pension benefits that exceed what was funded by the employee and employer through contributions over the course of that employee's time in the system. When that happens, the final employer may be required to pay a one-time lump sum amount to cover the extra retirement cost above the cap. The retirement system flags employees in advance who might trigger the cost based on their salary and projected benefit, but inclusion on the list does not guarantee that a payment will be required. It depends on final compensation, service, and retirement timing. They do a calculation once the person retires to determine you all, as we get this from the school system, they are required to notify you as the board, and that's why we shared this with you periodically. Also, if any of our staff trigger this notice, we share that with you.
I saw no names. I think in one of the reports, one of the years, we saw names
The
of the
name.
possibility.
Yeah, I thought it was in here.
I saw no names of the possibility of those that were flagged. If it's not there,
Yeah,
I'm raising the
it
question.
usually does include the name.
Maybe nobody was flagged.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe nobody was flagged. It's just that I know I've seen where sometimes they were flagged.
Yes, sir.
Moving on, go ahead.
And last, we received a letter or email of thanks from Chief Superior Court Judge Lamont Wiggins on behalf of court officials here in the county. And we don't get too many positive notes like this. I'd like to read it for the record if I could, Mr. Chairman.
But since it's my son, I'll let you read it.
You want to recuse yourself?
No, I'm just listening.
Everybody else can receive this
Yeah.
except for you, Mr. Chairman, sorry. The email says, Mr. Manager, attached is a picture collage of the newly improved and updated Edgecombe County District Courtroom on behalf of my office, along with Chief District Court Judge Wayne Boyette, Clerk of Court Carol A. White, and District Attorney Jeffrey Marsiglia, along with all the other court system actors. Please know that we are sincerely appreciative of the support and funding that the county commissioners and your staff has given to bring these improvements to fruition. In particular, the drop ceiling and LED lighting improvements, along with other enhancements, have brightened the room and improved the acoustics. This makes for a better and more conducive interior environment that makes for a better overall experience for all impacted. Please communicate our gratitude to the county commissioners as a whole and share the picture collage with them as well. As we move into next fiscal year's budget cycle, hopefully the opportunity will present to move forward with other items on the court system wish list. Please reach out if we can assist the county in any future endeavors as co-mutual partners. And want to commend Stan Liverman, our maintenance director, who oversaw that project and other projects, but it turned out to be a really good project. But that's all I have for manager's report.
Commissioners? Anything from,
I would like to just bring attention, I think we should probably bring attention to it as well, but also I would like for our subcommittee, maybe it's the Get Off List Committee for Housing, on the United Community Ministries SOS letter that they have sent out, and I think they've sent it to all of us about their funding and funding gap that they are going to have coming forward. This is desperate times for the homeless community, particularly that homeless community in Rocky Mount that has a desperate need. So as everyone, if people do not know, they rely on $300,000 of their funding coming from the city of Rocky Mount that has not, as indicated, is not going to be allocated next year. And that would mean that shelter is going to close, which is going to have a major impact. So I think we as a county need to look at that, maybe have that board look at that, or some committee look at that, and bring us some recommendations on what that looks like. They're in a campaign right now to try and raise funds and break it down on a per person basis, what that would mean for keeping that shelter afloat in the interim. So I think we should probably post that to our social media with their permission and circulate that, but also maybe include it in our next agenda packet as well.
Sure, happy to. Great idea.
I'm glad you raised the issue. Is it something that you think our board need to consider?
I think that's a large amount for us to take on.
I'm saying that or any portion that our budget.
I feel like we probably should have a committee look at that, or a group look at that, and bring us a recommendation on whatever that looks like, but I feel like we can't take that whole burden.
I don't disagree with that. I'm glad to hear you raise the issue, because it does say that there's a possibility that there might be a willingness for us to look at it. And based on that, Mr. Evans, maybe a committee or in our budget committee, make sure you just have a discussion with
We'll definitely look at it.
our budget committee in terms of if there is some way that we can help it. And I do hear no opposition from that from the board, and we certainly will be willing to these are people from our communities, and regardless of where they come from, they are now part of our community, okay? And if we can, budget-wise, or if there's another group, one of the get off the list group, that you might have to look at it, and if they could suggest to us, okay? Thank you for that suggestion, Mr. Thorne. I think it's a good idea.
And just to let you know, to remind us all that our getting off the list discretionary funding, as you know, we took our discretionary funding and targeted to getting off the list. They have been a recipient of that funding for 2 years. So they've gotten $25,000 each year.
And
2 years.
I think what we're talking
Great
about
investment.
in excess of that, okay?
Yes, sir.
And that's something that if there's something that we can do, and what we can do publicly to raise the awareness is I think one of the things that, thank you very much for that comment, Commissioner Thorne. Any other commissioners?
I got a question.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Evans, have we heard anything from Rocky Mountain about water and sewer?
We got notice that they are increasing their rates by 15%.
Both of them?
Yes.
Have you figured out the dollar amount?
Not yet, no, sir.
Might some. All right, we'll find out about that on the budget committee. I'm
Yes,
sure.
sir.
And I got one other thing that's really just for your information. I saw a news article today in the state of Mississippi, in the last 12 years, they have turned their entire education around. Guess how? By going back to the old basics, teaching phonics and good old plain old stuff.
Right,
I'm not in
encourage
any
it.
way insinuating that we need to tell anybody to do anything. I'm just saying this food for thought. We control the purse strings, and maybe, you know something, maybe it's time for a change in the other direction.
With that, I wanted to find out when we would have an update from our superintendent and Board of Education. Lots and lots of citizens have been asking us, what about the school that they said they were gonna build? Are they still gonna do the K-12? And I've heard it's not gonna be that, but the longer they keep people in the dark, it's not good,
Yes, ma'am.
especially for alumni on the north side.
Yes, ma'am. And we're planning to, it's certainly a reasonable concern. We will have our joint meeting coming up in about a month. We've got to pin that date down. Plan is to have that on the agenda. Do you want to have something before then?
I think as part of, that gets a little more public profile in terms of our joint meeting, so I would say that let that be an agenda item.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Unless you've got something different.
We were told originally that it might be May before they could supposedly.
Yeah, I
some
think,
concrete
I
plans.
think by that meeting, they should know enough by then to have some idea of to whether, you know,
We'll
what.
usually
what
meet in
time.
April.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know, I have to look.
We're in
back.
April.
It has moved some, so.
I need to find out the date as soon as possible.
Any other commissioner? Well, I think just before the meeting started, Mr. Boswell and I were talking about this was going to be a good day. So it's been a good day as it relates to the letter from the court officials, and Mr. Dancy came up here and said we did a good job. Okay, so he thanked us for good. So this is a good day, Mr. Dancy. Okay.
I hope his camera was on.
Was your camera on?
Mine was, I
We didn't get an issue. We got okay. We didn't get an issue today. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, ma'am, did you have something you a new face to me in here? Is there anything that you had that you'd like to address that you raised questions with the board on?
Thanks for having me. My name is Taika Martin Green. I am a new non-emergency medical transportation provider, and I'm just here listening on. So you can see my face, that I'm a new face that would like to come into the county and show you exceptional non-emergency medical transportation service.
Well, you just introduced yourself, so now you can introduce yourself to our manager. And okay, there is.
Good to see you. We've met before.
Okay, and they are. We do have applications for that. Is that correct, Ms. Evans? I don't know when we open them.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that'll be open again, but certainly can let her know.
And I know he's here regular, the gentleman here. Did you have anything since you?
Thank you.
You about the only. All the rest of these folks are real regular in here. Did you have anything that you want?
Oh, not particularly, I'm just, I'm vice chair of Princefield Planning Board, and like I said, we had, 3 new members, but, I would really like, which I'm pretty sure is in every, planning board and any organization, that people that be in your, planning board, that get more attendance, so just newly elected 3 people, and so that they falling off again.
Well, I'll say as it relates even to our planning board, it's becoming a more active planning board, and there are more applications, but sometimes when boards don't have anything to do, if you're not planning anything, you don't get in attendance. What what I'm saying, if there is no activity coming in, people fall off.
Right.
And our planning board is now becoming an active one because we're somewhat growing. And with that growing, you get issues, and with issues, people attend, okay, because they want to know what's going on. But any way that our planning staff can help you, inquire, okay? That's if Mr. Evans, if our staff is here to help any of our communities, okay? So please do that, okay?
Because I'd like to know the plan for the 53 acres.
Well, that's another day. That's a board decision, okay? You ain't got nothing to do with that, okay? She can put you in something, you gonna get fired, okay?
You gotta ask what?
You can get it wrong, you can get fired, okay? Is it, Mr. Peters?
No, sir.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we got an attorney that know when to speak and when to be quiet. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're scheduled to go into a closed session to discuss economic development. Is there a motion for such?
Second.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are now going to closed session. Thank all of you for your attendance. Yes, ma'am.
some remedies that you could get till 12.
After you watch the roller derby on Saturday night.
Me and my mom watched it religiously.
I guarantee me and my wife, last couple of these cattle stayed at 5, 6,
We on?
5, 11, and sometimes 12.
Is there anything to come in open session?
Mr. Chairman, just want to mention a couple things. I believe Ms. Faison sent out to all of you, there is a County Advocacy Day on June 9th and 10th.
Yes.
And if you're interested in participating in that, let her know, the General Assembly. Also, as you know, we have a committee and we've been working on mapping out some plans for possible activities to help celebrate America's 250th birthday. We participate in statewide meetings where we get ideas, and there's one coming up on Wednesday at what time? At 10 o'clock. If anybody's interested in joining that virtual meeting, we can send you that information.
Oh, yeah, and the association, all of y'all might have got it, they sent it out to the county commissioners. You're invited the next conversation with the General Assembly about the tax commissioner, property tax, is April the 9th,
At
3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 or 3:30.
3:30.
Is there another meeting you wanted somebody to attend on Wednesday?
Yes, the.
Two elected officials have to be there.
The viable utility program requires that we have participation staff and at least 2 elected officials. The one this week is gonna be at the community college. I didn't realize, and I apologize, first of all, for sending it so late, I forgot. Number 2, I didn't realize they had closed registration, that they say they can open it up. But if you're interested, let us know and we'll work on it.
What you say requires?
It requires at least 2 elected officials. They have one here in Tarboro Thursday?
Wednesday.
Then
What time is
the other one is in
Starts at 8
Kernersville.
o'clock.
What time is the one on one?
It is.
It's all day.
We got any commissioners willing to attend?
I will, it's on campus.
It's on campus?
It was on Rocky Mountain, Tarboro campus.
Tarboro campus, CFI building.
I'll go, but I have another board meeting at the Braswell Library, so I don't know how.
What time frame is it?
All day.
It's all day. They
It's
say.
all day.
And I don't know, I've only been to one yet, so I don't know if I'm be excused to miss 2.
No,
I
you
missed
might wanna
one.
get there, because I already heard complaints.
Yeah.
But that's,
What, about the Braswell?
Yeah, about Braswell.
yeah, they
About
They
it
ain't sent me nothing.
but they complaining about a commissioner not attending that funds the board.
Yeah.
They some dumb complainers.
It's another board member.
So?
It's not the.
So?
Larry, could we work, could we work something together? Could he go half and I go half?
We certainly can see. Just let us know.
Because if we can't get in, I'll just walk in the building. I'm working.
So I really,
It's gonna be at the library or at?
No, this meeting
Yours
is
is at the library,
is
right?
at
Yeah,
the Center for
mine was only
Innovation.
for an hour, normally about an
Okay.
hour, and
And
we're
that's
out
all
of there,
day?
you know.
All
so-
day.
I
Wednesday.
don't mind taking half of it you good enough to go, I'm good enough to split it with you, okay? If we can do that.
I'm just trying to make sure we meet our
Well, I-
obligation, that's all
Right,
I'm looking at.
right.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
well, it seems like it's worked out. Okay.
Not yet.
We'll follow.
It's worked out with, I think it's all it required.
We normally out of there
It's a
about
tendency
1 o'clock,
that,
Braswell.
it doesn't require you staying there all day. If it does,
They usually go until 1, like I
so,
said, from 1 to 5.
so it says it requires it, but if you don't come, the meeting still goes on.
Oh, yeah, they have folks from other counties that will be.
So I don't see how they require us to do nothing. Is you can be there if you want
Got
to,
another option, though, you go to another.
but we don't get
place
credit
in
for
the city.
nothing, though. What you get credit for?
We have to have at least 2 staff and 2 elected officials. That puts
Is
us.
funding,
Absolutely. This,
okay, now that's a different, okay, that's the whole, now
there you go.
now that's different now.
we've
No.
got millions of dollars because of that program.
Okay, well, okay, now somebody need to be there. That's somebody.
Somebody.
So we got,
That's why I said I would go.
we got 3 commissioners over here that you talked to.
I should have started.
Yeah, you said require, there's funding attached to it, now that's the whole.
$1 million y'all missing.
I take back everything I just said, okay? I apologize, and I'm apologizing, okay? Yeah, but, yeah, somebody, the time frame in terms of, you got 3 commissioners, Evans?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in terms of have a willingness to be there. And some of the others might come, so that would certify. I've got some medical, I would, but I've got some medical
So you don't have
requirements.
to register your deed.
Well, I think you got to register. I think you need to register. You register, you, everybody had register. I think we need to register for, if funding is tied to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, if those two fellows on the end.
Well, let's suggest that you, if you can,
Can't
go.
go, then I'll go today.
It doesn't have to be just two, it can be.
Yeah, if you can,
No,
I'm
I'm
gonna,
just gonna make, no, I'm like Larry, I'm making numbers, but I can go all day.
well,
If I need to, I just need to know.
well,
If
let's.
they can't work it out.
well,
And since
well-
I booked the room for the lady, I'll call her tomorrow and find out if we can split it up that way.
Okay.
Well-
And if they
Would that be
can,
a
let me
problem?
know. We'll work it out.
Sometimes,
told Miss Miles-
sometimes you don't need to raise the question.
This is what we're doing.
I think, I don't,
I don't think she would put me out if I walk in,
Yes, for permission.
especially if I have my ECC tag on.
because it will tell you no, then you got to do
So I
it.
can't make sure everything worked right.
Can't
Well,
turn the lights
You've
on.
got it worked out.
Exactly.
Is there anything else? Ms. Powell, if it would be very helpful and the board would be thankful.
But yeah, if they can't, they won't let them split it.
I'm saying,
They got other
I'm saying
obligations.
even if they can split it, if you can have a presence. If you can have a presence.
And if you're gonna split it up, I can probably help out.
If you're gonna, I think any of us that can go through and sign up, even if if you assign an in, I think it
Gotta have
shows,
at least
it
two.
shows that we are at least two, okay. And you, make sure you reach out to the contact.
That's another thing that we check into, whether or not, once you sign in once, are you able to sign in for the second time or for the second part? If that, however they work that, make sure you get total credit for it.
Yes, sir, we'll find.
Well, I just came from this tour and you didn't ask permission for nothing. You checked in, went on out, did what you do, and come back. Asking for permission creates a problem.
Okay.
We good? I got one quick thing. Did I not understand that gentleman that got up and spoke about the data center tonight, talk about a Bitcoin?
Mhm.
That's what he said.
He's-
I didn't hear nothing
No,
about
he
it.
said mining.
Bitcoin
It's a
mining.
data center and bit
Bitcoin.
mining is what they call it.
Well, the problem is that that's gonna get out into public.
It won't
again.
bit mining, he didn't call
He
it
said
that.
Bitcoin mining.
No,
It
he
was
called,
Bitcoin.
it was something else, some
That's
other
what
kind of
they were
mining.
doing in Greenville.
Yeah.
And it got turned down. But again, when
He said
that word
Bitcoin
starts
mining.
going around.
That's what I heard.
But I think the bottom, I don't know, that we have not approved any of this anyway.
Yeah,
Well, I
Right.
think our UDO text amendment's already been done, already mentions
The amendment for data centers
Right.
also include an amendment for crypto mining,
crypto mining.
Right. Yeah, that's
but
what,
it still applies to
I take my part
into
back. Crypto mining.
county only.
yeah.
And I think the concern is that it uses a whole lot more power than your typical type
And
of
a lot
data
more
center.
noise and a whole lot of everything.
And we are not there on any of it yet,
Right.
in terms
That
of,
don't flush with a lot.
I,
Water
I,
bill gonna go up,
until-
this
until
gonna go
such
up.
time
How
as-
do we know?
I think we're meeting in the
Don't
back
forget
room.
this too.
is there anything else to come?
No?
Nothing from staff.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor, let it be known by vote sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We stand adjourned. We had a good day.
Yeah,
Opposed, sit right there.
o'clock. That's a real good
There's
day.
food and